just thinking about being agile, using specific things like how do we adapt, how do we improve our efficiency. Daily stand-ups typically run for max 15 minutes, a long time. What do we do? What did you do yesterday? Are we on track? If not, what is holding you? How can we address it? Simple, 15 minutes, we're done.
What are some of the most common bottlenecks you see SMBs facing with how they try to work with AI or agile methodologies? And kind of piggybacking off of that, how can they overcome them?
That's a good question. So I think it's a lot of, I've talked about, the need to have a mindset of accepting change, like continue to learn. A lot of the times, especially companies that have been doing what they're doing for a long time, you're used to the same thing. Hey, it's not broken. Why will I fix it? And then all of a sudden, there's this new tool, this new smaller company, maybe a startup. They're doing things a little bit differently. Now they're taking away a lot of your customer base, right? Now, hey, what do we do? What are we doing? What do you do? The question I'll ask a small business is, do you have a mind? Do you think your team, you and your team, are you ready to adapt to changes? Say if things happen now, maybe previously you had to pay a bunch of researchers to help you do research and some things. Now I can put it into Perplexity AI and it does it for me in 60 seconds, or Chat GPT or whatever other bots out there that can help me get this done. Do you find yourself ready to do this thing? There's specific questions I like to ask. Are you, you know, do you have a culture of learning? Do you have a culture of experimentation? Meaning, don't wait for a finite product. Like, don't wait for the product to be 100% complete. Service even. Is there a way we can get it out the market and test it and see if it's even worth the expected budget, whatever budget it was you had for it, right? That's one way to check things and really adjust on the fly. What that does for a lot of companies is, especially small companies, the bigger you are, the more.
I've been thinking a lot about how demanding life as an entrepreneur can be. I realized I needed to make some changes and not just quick fixes. For me, it's about focusing on 5 key pillars: sleep, diet, exercise, stress management, and adding small tools that support those habits. One of the tools that's been helping me lately is Magic Mind. In the mornings, their focus shots help me stay clear and sharp throughout the day without those energy crashes. And in the evenings, their sleep shots have made winding down so much easier. I'm finally getting deeper, more restorative sleep. After just a few days, I noticed I was more productive during the day and better rested at night. It's been a game changer for managing stress and staying focused during podcast recordings like this one. If you're ready to invest in your mental wealth, I'd highly recommend trying Magic Mind. For the first time, they've bundled their focus and sleep shots together, and you get 45% off using my exclusive link, magicmind.com/Horizon Jan. That's magicmind.com/Horizon JAN. Check it out and start building your mental resilience today.
The more complex it is to get agility. I came from corporate America where when I learned this, I learned when I started to learn about agility. I was in a company where they had to hire people to come teach us how to be agile, right? So they're doing it in teams, starting in technology, then now we're going to marketing, HR, and then all of where I sat in the company. I was fortunate. I sit in the space where work with technology, marketing, legal, compliance, global firm, global teams. So it's different when you're working in that space, but the key learning there is, how are we set up so that when things change in the market, how can we respond to it quickly? And those are the questions you have to ask. Like, there's so many AI tools, it can be overwhelming to that AI question. However, what I'd help a team do, for instance, is not just teaching your team to be agile, but taking a look at what you actually do, learning about your business, and then saying, okay, maybe you don't need 10 software products to help you work. things. Maybe there's a lot of this we can automate. Maybe you need four AI tools, maybe two, maybe one. I don't know. It's going to depend on how your team works. But the question I'd like to ask people who, your listeners is, how are you set up right now? Do you find that you are ready for this change that's imminent? It's coming. The speed at which, matter of fact, what I thought I could do with AI early last year, by the end of the year, I could already just thinking, yeah, I wish I was able to do this. Things happen so fast before the end of the year. All of those updates are there, right? So that is the way. And the more, this is machine learning, the more these tools continue to learn about you, about us, about what we do, the better it gets. It's going to keep getting better. So I say, small and medium businesses need to be ready to accept these changes and see what we can glean from it to use to our benefit. That's really the way to address this.
Yeah. You've emphasized some practical solutions there tailored to small businesses. Could you share an example of how you've simplified a complex process for a client to drive meaningful results?
Yes, so I'm working with a. Funny you said that the AI conversation you had with the last guest about how AI was revolutionizing law. I'm working with a law firm right now. He does a lot of specific. He's working with a lot of people going to bankruptcy and stuff like that. So we are doing a lot of understanding where the data is coming from. Now with the data, we're able to understand. Okay, you could use ChatGPT for basic stuff, but maybe you need an AI agent, which is a customized agent to help you go pull that information from the database and places where, like, I'm in Maryland, right? And Maryland, there's a specific database. I don't want to, go into the details of what database is, but he has a specific database where this information is pulled from. We're connecting. We're looking for ways to automate his process. So a lot of stuff he does manually, we're able to simplify it such that maybe you don't need six four steps, or now you need to hire a paralegal or somebody else to help you do some stuff. A lot of this AI can already do for you. This is probably taking work for some people who should be doing that. I mean, that's the reality of it. The truth is, we're gonna have to start to rethink what we're doing, what value we're adding to companies, and what ways we can use AI to help companies now. So, simple answer to your question is really it depends on the company. But for this legal team, we're able to use like a customized AI agent to help him do the research he needs and then streamline his operations such that all of those things taking him days to achieve, he can now do them fairly quickly.
So you make agile principles accessible to everyone in your book, Agile Made Simple, which is available at madesimplebook.com. We'll put that link in the description there. What's one takeaway you hope readers implement in their businesses right away?
Well, just learn about your team's motivation for doing what they're doing. Like, just try and let your team understand why. First of all, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, and then sit with the team. How can we meet daily to see that we're syncing up? Because I dare say a lot of work is done, and maybe you're the kind of leader who has one-on-one conversations with your team, and that's okay. There are times for that, but I think the team would benefit from just transparency, which is what Agile really does. Because once you go Agile, you're saying to yourself and your team, we're not hiding anything, right? We want everything to be open. So if you're the kind of organization that has that mindset, you're already on track. There's ways right now you can begin to implement agility in what you do. Do a quick analysis: what projects, what products, what's our high value item that we need to get out the door quickly. In the book, I talk about how to understand how you define value, how to get that, because you have to start with the value. What does the customer sees as value, right? and then you want to focus your time and energy on that value creation process. So in that process, is it, are we delivering work? What's the frequency of how we're delivering work? Can we get it done faster? Can we get it more, instead of, long term waiting for a whole year to get it out? Can we get it to them faster? And even though it's incomplete, we're getting it to them, letting them know it's incomplete, but we're developing the product to meet their standards. So how can we do that? Again, I talked about the daily stand up. I cannot stress that enough. It should be, daily stand ups typically run for max 15 minutes, a long time, depending on what, how the team is. It's not a meeting time to have long conversations or point. What did we do today? What did you do yesterday? Are we on track? If not, what is holding you? How can we address it? Simple. 30 minutes, 15 minutes, we're done. And everybody's gone back to what they're doing. That's something you can already implement today. And then if you work or pray, if your work is more like, I don't have a special release to a client or a thing, I would say Kanban is an easy tool to use. It's really rudimentary. You can make it as rudimentary and as complex as you want it to be. Simple is always good for me. I like to keep things simple, and just because teams vary and everybody on a team, keeping things simple is always the best. You can start there. Okay, let's list out somewhere. Is there somewhere where the whole team can see the whole work you have going on right now? Like, list it out. Just listing it out will help you see, okay, wait a minute, that's still pending. Okay, who is doing that? Okay, if it's valuable and you only have limited resources, and we all do, okay, now what, we need to make a serious decision, because it's not, there's like, trust, just the software teams have multiple things they want to add, like Instagram or Facebook, they have multiple priorities in their backlog, I'm sure. But they're only, the releases you see, the updates you see are probably the ones that have the most impact on, as far as value to the larger customer base, which is what we should do as a small business owner. So of all these many things we have to do, and there is many of them, right? Which one is, the most value, perceived as the most valuable thing from our client standpoint? Okay, that is where we should devote our resources to. And then that is the one I would say go test out with agility, so that we can then work with the customer and make that product what they want. Now, what we think they want, because a lot of times we do developing stuff for what we think they want, but what do they want?
Yeah, great point. Well, Dare, it was a real pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for sharing with us a little bit of your wisdom and knowledge with Agile. And I look forward to picking up that book and, wishing you the best for 2025.
Sounds good. Wish you the same, sir.